Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University, where we have the second of two games here in an OAC men's and women's basketball doubleheader, with the Wilmington Quakers paying a visit to the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. BW looking to take both ends of the doubleheader as the women were successful in defeating the Wilmington Quakers earlier this afternoon. This one, a game with both teams trying to get back into the win column. Wilmington comes in on a three-game losing streak. They've lost three straight at home after losing in double overtime at Muskingum on January 29th. They upset Mount Union 79-77 on the road in Alliance. They have since come home to get defeated by Ohio Northern 82-52, by John Carroll 81-65, and then by Otterbein on Wednesday night 76-71. The Yellow Jackets, after winning two in a row against Muskingum and Heidelberg at home, have now dropped two straight as they fell at Capital 82-76 last Saturday, and then 82-55 at John Carroll on Wednesday night. When the two teams met earlier this year, the Yellow Jackets were 61-58 winners over the Quakers in Wilmington. They are led by Ray Ellington at 17.2 points per game. He's also the team's leading rebounder at 7.0 per game. Also averaging in double figures, Miles Reynolds, who's come on strong. And the second half of the season, he averages 12.7 points per game. Reynolds shooting it 41% from the field, 38.9% from three-point range, and a 73.3% at the free throw line. And A.J. Postello averaging 11 points per game. Wilmington led in scoring by number 5, Rashid Chisholm, at 13.2 points per game. And Obed Arkham, also in double figures, at 11.2 points per game. Arkham, the leading rebounder for the Quakers, at 6.0 rebounds per game. Baldwin Wallace comes in with a record of 9-13 overall. They're 6-6 at home are the Yellow Jackets. BW 5-10 in OAC play, 4-4 in OAC home games. The Quakers 5-17 overall, 2-7 away from home, 3-12 in Ohio Athletic Conference play. They are 2-5 away from home in Ohio Athletic Conference play. The teams have reported to their respective benches, and we will turn things over to the public address announcer for the reading of the starting lineups for the Quakers and Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. taking a look once again at the starting lineups. Obed Arkham, Rashid Chisholm, Eli Cathy, Gavin Heimlich, and Dominic Farley will be your starters for the Quakers, and Heimlich will take the tip-off. The 6'10 senior forward is a native of Plain City, Ohio, and a graduate of Jonathan Alder High School. Wilmington in green uniforms with a darker shade of green numbers and lettering on the front and back of the jersey. The letters and numbers trimmed in white. The Yellow Jackets in gray with the BW Athletics logo on the chest of the jersey. The numbers in white trimmed in brown with gold and brown accents down the sides of the jersey. Postello will jump it up for the Yellow Jackets. He's a 6'7 sophomore out of Cuyahoga Falls. He's on the floor with Miles Reynolds, Andrew Griffith, Titus Baskerville the fourth, and Ray Ellington. The tip-off goes to the Quakers. It was sent over to Heimlich on the left wing into the corner. It's Cathy, who then sends it into Arkham in the low block. Arkham, turnaround jumper from 13, up and in for the Quakers. Quickly the other way, it's Baskerville bringing it up on the near sideline. Out top, dribbles off right side, gets a screen from Postello. Over to Ellington on the right side. He'll give it right back to Baskerville. Baskerville on the drive, right of the lane. Scoop shot up, and it will rattle in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. We are even at 2 with 19:11 left in the first half. Dominic Farley brings it up. He swings it over to Chisholm, who quickly hands off to Cathy. Cathy on the drive, throws it up along the baseline, and it's in for the Quakers. They take a 2-point lead over the Yellow Jackets. Reynolds into the post to Postello. Postello on the drive. Baseline, backing up. Gavin Heimlich, and Postello misses a shot. It's last touch by Heimlich. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets with 14 on the shot clock. Baskerville inbounds it to Postello. It's knocked out of bounds by Baldwin Wallace. But the official on the sideline says, no, Wilmington was last to touch. The Yellow Jackets will inbound in front of the Wilmington bench. It will be Baskerville who will inbound it. Baskerville lobs it into Postello. It's handed back to Baskerville. He dribbles between the circles. Gets to the left of the lane. Running jumper on the way. No good, but he'll get 2 coming from the line as he was fouled on his way up. And the foul goes against Dominic Farley. It's his first. That's the first on the Quakers. And Baskerville, 50 of 64 at the line, 78.1% on the season. Southpaw is a native of Stowe, Ohio, and a graduate of Stowe Monroe Falls High School. He's a former Bulldog. He hits the front end of the 2-shot foul. Second attempt on the way. He left it short. Rebound tipped around and controlled by Farley of the Quakers. Farley quickly into the front court. On the hop, he gives it off to Arkham for 3. It's off the mark. Rebound to A.J. Postello. Baskerville dribbles off left wing, fires up a 3, and got it for Baldwin Wallace. It's BW 6, Wilmington 4, with 18:06 left to go here in the first half. Heimlich hands off, and a 3-pointer on the way from Chisholm. It's off the mark. It rattles in and out, rebounded by Ellington. Ellington into the front court, off on the left wing, sends it over to Baskerville. Baskerville on the drive, scoop shot up. It's no good. Postello there for the rebound. He gets his shot altered, and it's rebounded by Farley. Farley to Chisholm. Chisholm in the lane, spins to his right, throws up a runner from 10. It's off the mark, punched out by Ellington, tracked down by Griffith. Griffith hands off to Reynolds. Reynolds into the front court. On the drive, gets into the lane, loses a handle on it. It's taken by Chisholm. He'll roll it out to Heimlich, who palms the ball and lifts it up before giving it to Farley. Farley into the front court, off on the right side of the floor. Off to Chisholm on the right wing, into the post to Cathy. Cathy working against Baskerville. That's a size mismatch for Wilmington, and Cathy makes the Yellow Jackets pay. That was 6'4", going up against 5'10", and 6'4", one out. We're even at 6 with 16:48 to go in the first half. Ellington will fire up a three on the other end. It's off the side of the rim, rebounded by Heimlich. Farley the other way, into the corner. It's Arkham for three. Got it. 9-6, Wilmington in front. Baskerville the other way for the Yellow Jackets. Sends it to Ellington and gets it right back between the circles. Now to Griffith on the left side, over to Reynolds on the left wing. He'll dial up a three and bury it for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. We're even at 9. And a stoppage in play, so Farley can tie his shoe. And Wilmington will inbound the basketball now. It's inbounded by Arkham to Farley. Farley into the front court, dribbles off right wing. Into the post to Cathy. Cathy with a jumper. It's off the mark, rebounded by Griffith. He'll hand off to Reynolds. Reynolds into the front court, drives from the left wing all the way to the hoop, gets it altered out of bounds. Last touch by Wilmington. I tend to agree with the Quakers on that one. It looked like it was last touch by Miles Reynolds, but credit the defender for keeping the body off of Reynolds. The official having a conversation with one of the Quakers, I think, to address his thoughts on the call. And we're back underway now with Ellington catching the inbound pass. He'll get a screen from Postello. Ellington on the drive in the lane. Gets it blocked by Chisholm. Chisholm gets the ball in transition, goes up and gets it blocked by Postello. Last touch by the Yellow Jackets. Cathy with it after getting the pass from Heimlich. He'll swing it over to Farley on the left wing for three. It's off the front of the rim and rebounded by Ellington. Ellington off to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. Baskerville spin dribbles and then kicks the ball out of bounds. He had a good step on a defender, but then a second one came over and got in his path, and that forced the dribble off the shoe. Arkham with a backdoor pass to Farley, and Farley's going to put it up and in for the Quakers. They lead at 11-9, just over 5 minutes gone in the first half. Reynolds gets a screen from Ellington. Reynolds into the lane, pulls up from 13, off the mark, rebound, tipped out of bounds by Heimlich. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets. The inbound pass goes from Baskerville to Postello to Ellington, now to Baskerville between the circles. 15 on the shot clock. Baskerville gets into the lane, scoops it out to Reynolds. Reynolds on the drive now, into the lane, ducks his shoulder from 10, puts it up and puts it in to draw the Yellow Jackets even. Heimlich with it on the left wing, hands off to Chisholm. Three-pointer on the way from Farley. It's off the mark, rebounded by Postello. He'll hand off to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court, kicks it out to Reynolds. He'll fire up a three off the side of the rim and out. Tipped out by Heimlich, controlled by Cathy. Elijah Cathy with it, finds Chisholm going to the hoop. Chisholm gets tied up, shakes the ball free, goes up and draws a foul against A.J. Postello. Postello knew it as soon as he left his feet. He bumped into the shooting arm and committed the foul. Timeout on the floor with 13:43 to go here in the first half. We are even at 11. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against the Wilmington Quakers is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for Baldwin Wallace University and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leader since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game on BWYellowJackets.com. Out of the timeout. Chisholm will stay on the floor, as will Heimlich. But the Quakers will send out 3 new players, as number 4, Carson Miles, a 5'11 sophomore out of Georgetown, Ohio, joins number 10, Ben Golan, a 5'4 sophomore from Mason, Ohio. And number 11, Bryce Bird, a 6-foot senior guard from South Lyon, Michigan. Chisholm's first attempt is up, and it is good. He is a 67% free throw shooter on the year, 49 of 73 coming into today's game. The second attempt is up, and it's off back iron, rebounded by Ray Ellington. The Yellow Jackets had 2 substitutions at the timeout. Number 15, Braylon McClarty, checking in, and also number 23, Isaac Richardson, is in. 3-pointer on the way from Griffith, off back iron, no good. Rebound to the Quakers. And it's Bird who tracks it down. Into the front court with a pass to Golan. Golan will hand off to Chisholm. Chisholm on the drive, has it deflected away and taken by Isaac Richardson. Richardson will hand off to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. Sends it over to Ellington near sideline. Ellington will back it out, reset with 18 on the shot clock. He'll get a screen from Richardson. Over to Baskerville on the left wing. Pump fake on a 3. He'll try to drive now. Crosses up, gets into the lane, dishes it to Richardson. He'll kick it out to McClarty, out to Ellington. Ellington with 5 on a shot clock, on a drive. Pulls up from 10 and rattles in the jumper to give the Yellow Jackets a 13-12 lead with 12:42 to play here in the half. Miles with the basketball for the Quakers. He'll send a pass left wing to Golan. Golan will hand off to Bird. Bird sends it over to Chisholm, now into the post. It goes to Golan. Golan on the drive, up off the window, no good. Rebound McClarty. McClarty into the front court. He gets a screen from Richardson and gives it off to Richardson in the corner. Richardson on the drive against Golan. Kicks it out to Ellington. He'll fire a 3 from the right wing, off back iron, rebounded by Heimlich. It'll get sent up the floor to Miles. Miles working against Baskerville, sends it over to Bird, now to Golan on the left wing. Golan hands off to Chisholm. Chisholm gets in the lane. A lot of bodying going on. Up off the window, count it, and Chisholm will get one more coming from the line as he was fouled, I believe, by Isaac Richardson. And that will be Richardson's first. That'll be the second on the Yellow Jackets in the half. Heimlich will check out for the Quakers. Zach McGirt, a 6'3 sophomore from St. Anne, Illinois, and Grace Christian Academy, checks in. Chisholm 1 of 2 on the day at the free throw line. Now 2 of 3 as he completes the 3-point play and puts the Quakers up by a 15-13 count. Obed Arkham is back in to the game for the Quakers. Wilmington throwing some heavy pressure defense at the Yellow Jackets. Baskerville gets it to Ellington, who crosses the timeline, sends it into the corner to Richardson. Now out front to Baskerville once more. Baskerville around the screen, gets to the right of the lane, kicks it out to Griffith. Now to Richardson, over to Ellington. Ellington sends it over to McClarty, now to Richardson on the low block. Richardson spins to his left, spins back to his right, throws up a runner, and draws a foul to go to the line for 2 shots. Isaac Richardson, 24 of 34 at the free throw line on the year, 70.6%. Richardson's first, up and good. Second attempt for Richardson rattles in. We're even at 15, and A.J. Postello will return to spell Andrew Griffith. Miles running point, sends it over to Archam. Archam will lob it over and get it right back on the left wing. Sends up a 3-ball and buries it for the Quakers. 18-15, Wilmington in front as we hit the 11-minute mark of this first half, I should say. Baskerville over to McClarty on the left wing, into the low post to Postello. Draws a double team, drop steps to his right, goes left, and draws a foul to earn 2 shots. Postello, 26 of 66 on the year, make it 27 of 67. Came in 39.4% at the free throw line. Second attempt up and good as well. A.J. Postello completes the pair. Draws the Jackets within a point. They trail the Quakers 18-17 as we near the midway point of this first half. Golan catches the ball on the left side of the floor on a pass from Bird. Drives to the right side of the floor before giving it to Archam. Now a three-pointer from Miles on the way from the left wing. Left it short. Rebound to McClarty. McClarty hands off to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. Kicks it over to Ellington. Pump fakes a 3. Dribbles it out. On the right side of the floor from the wing. He'll get a screen from Postello. Ellington steps into a 3. It's off back iron. Rebounded by McClarty. Off to Baskerville. Baskerville into the corner to McClarty. Now into the low post. It goes to Postello. Postello draws a double team. Kicks it out to Richardson for 3 from the top of the arc. Off the side of the rim and out. Archam with the rebound. Bird will feign the handoff to Golan. Try to drive inside. Now he'll kick it out to Golan, who sneaks it into Miles. Miles has it deflect away, but regains it. Sends it back out to Golan. Over to Miles on the right wing now. He'll step into an 18-footer. Left it short. Rebound to Archam. Archam with a turnaround jumper. Up and no good. Rebound to McClarty. And he gets pulled down going up for the rebound. So that'll be a foul on the Quakers. It's a foul against Bird. That's his first. That's the 4th on the Quakers. Matt DeBrasi will check in for the Quakers along with number 24, Otto Cipollini. And number 25, Nick Malagreca. In for the Yellow Jackets, number 12, Nick Timberlake. Timberlake, a 6'3" sophomore guard from Stone Monroe Falls High School. We have a trio of former Bulldogs on the floor, with Postello, Timberlake, and Baskerville. A drive to the hoop for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets results in a foul on the floor against Matt DeBrasi, his first. That's the 5th on the Quakers. Baskerville lobs it in to Postello. He'll send it over to McClarty. McClarty into the corner to Ellington. Ellington feigns going to his left, goes to his right, now spins back left, throws up a runner, and rattles it in to put the Yellow Jackets in front, 19-18, with 8:52 to play here in the first half. Archam sends a pass inside to DeBrasi. It tips off of his hands into the hands of Baskerville. Baskerville to Postello. He misses the layup. It's rebounded by Cipollini. He'll outlet it to DeBrasi. DeBrasi around a Cipollini screen. Drives to the left of the lane. Kicks it out to Archam. Archam backs it out. 8 on the shot clock. Now Archam gets to the low block. Turnaround jumper up. It's off the mark. Rebound to Postello. He'll hand off to Baskerville. Baskerville off to Timberlake on the left wing. Back out front to Baskerville. Baskerville uses a Postello screen. Lobs it inside to Postello. Postello draws a double team. Going up against a 7-footer. Gives it off to Baskerville, who misses the jumper. Rebound tipped out by Golan. Golan a run with Archam. Dish it to Archam, and then Archam loses a handle on it, regains it on the floor, and calls a timeout. Wow, what a heady play by the senior from Columbus St. Francis de Sales High School. Timeout on the floor by the Quakers. It's a 30-second timeout. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against the Wilmington Quakers is being brought to you by University Hospital's Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. And the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. 7:44 left to go in the first half. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets lead the Wilmington Quakers by a 19-18 count. The Quakers with 5 fouls through the first 12-plus minutes of action. The Yellow Jackets just with 2. Wilmington has 5 timeouts remaining. The Yellow Jackets with 6 on the floor for the Quakers. Cathy will check back in. He'll be on the floor with Chisholm, who returns as well. DeBrasi, Malagreca, and Cipollini will be on for the Quakers. They will stay on. McClarty, Postello, Timberlake stay on. Griffith and Reynolds return. Three-pointer on the way from DeBrasi is off the mark. Rebound to McClarty. Reynolds with it in the front court, off on the right side, now dribbles back to the left side of the floor, gets a screen for Postello. Reynolds gets into the lane, jumper from 12, rattles in and out, no good, rebound to Cipollini. And that's where having a 7-footer comes in mighty handy on block shots and rebounds, and we've seen Cipollini do both so far. DeBrasi with it in the lane, kicks it out to Cathy. Thought about a 3, he'll hand off now to Chisholm. Chisholm to the right of the lane, goes up over Griffith, gets it blocked, gets his own rebound back, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Chisholm will throw it away. It's taken by the Yellow Jackets. Reynolds over to Timberlake. Timberlake hands off to Postello, gets it back, fires up a 3, off back iron, rebound to McClarty. McClarty then gets it tipped away but keeps possession on the dribble. He'll give it off to Griffith in the corner. Griffith then throws it away as Cathy comes up with a steal by getting his hand in the passing lane. Cathy on the drive. Up off the window, no good. Rebound tipped out and controlled by the Quakers. Malagreca kicked it out to DeBrasi to keep the possession alive. DeBrasi off on the near sideline. Working against Timberlake. Goes to his left, gets in the lane. Loses his balance, but keeps the possession. It's sent over to Cathy now for 3. Off back iron, rebound to Reynolds. Reynolds into the front court for the Yellow Jackets. He kicks it out to Postello, who backs it out of the arc. He caught it in the high post, but didn't have good positioning to post. Now he'll try to drive, and he will get fouled on his way to the hoop. Now Greca picks up the foul. His first, that's the 6th on the Quakers. Now a timeout on the floor. It is a media timeout. So while we have this break, I want to remind you once more that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against Wilmington College is being brought to you by Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against Wilmington on BWYellowJackets.com. 19-18 is our score. Yellow Jackets in front with 5:42 left to go here in the first half. A.J. Postello will be at the free throw line when we resume play. Postello 2 of 2 at the free throw line thus far today. Taking a look at the OAC standings, Wilmington comes in 10th place. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets in 9th via a couple tiebreakers. They need a few wins down the stretch and maybe a little bit of help along the way as well to get into that number 6 spot, which is currently held by the Ohio Northern Polar Bears, who at 5-10 have the exact same conference record as the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, but they have 2 more victories as the Yellow Jackets are 9-13 and Ohio Northern is 11-11. Marietta sits in front of the Yellow Jackets at 10-12. Capital 9-13 as well. They are also in front of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. They split the 2 meetings earlier in the season, Capital and Baldwin Wallace, each winning on their home floor. Postello misses the front end of the 2-shot foul. The second attempt on the way, in and out, no good. It's rebounded by Malagreca. He'll hand off to Farley, who returned along with Heimlich. Chisholm with it in the corner. He'll swing it into Cathy. Back to Chisholm. Three-pointer on the way from the left side of the floor. In and out, no good. It's rebounded by Postello. He'll hand off to Reynolds, who then gives it off to Ellington. Ellington into the front court. Dribbles off right side. He'll dribble back left side now to the left of the lane. Pull up from just inside the three-point line. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Farley. Farley into the front court for the Quakers. He'll kick it over to Chisholm into the post to Heimlich. Heimlich with his back to the basket, tried to throw it to Farley. It's stolen by Reynolds. Reynolds in a foot race all the way to the hoop, up and in with the right hand. 21-18. Yellow Jackets lead the Quakers with 4:44 to play here in the first half. Farley picks up his dribble, gives it to Cathy. Cathy then hands off to Chisholm. Chisholm out front to Heimlich. Heimlich feigns the handoff before giving it to Farley. Farley around the screen, lobs it inside to Heimlich. Heimlich up with the right hand, up off the window. It's no good. It's rebounded by Isaac Richardson. Richardson hands off to Reynolds. Reynolds off to Ellington on the right wing into Richardson. Richardson has it poked away and out of bounds off of the Quakers. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets. Obed Archin comes back for the Quakers to spell Malagreca. Timberlake will check out. Titus Baskerville, the fourth, will check in for the Yellow Jackets. Baskerville will be on the inbound pass. He will lob it up for Ellington. Ellington gets in the lane, goes up, count it. He'll get one more coming from the line as he was fouled on his way up. And the foul is against number 5, Rashid Chisholm, his first, the 7th on the Quakers. Timeout on the floor by the Wilmington Quakers. It is a full timeout. So while we have this opportunity, I want to remind you once more that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against Wilmington is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics, and Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue, and the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders. since 1893. Taking a look at another score in the Ohio Athletic Conference. The Ohio Northern Polar Bears lead the Marietta Pioneers at the ONU Sports Center in Ada by a 14-5 count. Also in action today, Mount Union visits Heidelberg. Muskingum travels to Otterbein. And Capital plays at John Carroll. That is a 4 p.m. tip-off between the Comets and Blue Streaks. Ellington's and one attempt on the way, off the mark. Archam there for the board. He hands off to Farley. Farley backdoors a pass to Archam and then gets Ellington going up, and Ellington hits the deck. He lands kind of on Archam's back. Archam able to get up. Maybe a little worse for wear, but he will go to the line and shoot two. And Archam will take a long walk toward half court, thinking that it was going to be an inbound pass, and now he thought he was going to shoot. And truthfully, I thought he was shooting too, but the officials said that was a foul on the floor. That's a tough luck foul on the floor. Farley to inbound it, does so to Cathy. Cathy looking back toward to Chisholm. Chisholm lost the handle on it. Got tangled up with Richardson, got sent to the deck, and Richardson came up with the steal. Baskerville the other way from the left wing, drives inside, then backs it back out. Baskerville will back it up into the half-court circle before resetting the offense. Now on the drive, gets to the right of the lane. Baskerville steps into a jumper, left it short. Farley there on the rebound. He'll run it out for the Quakers. He'll lob it into the front court to Archam. Archam goes up in traffic with the left hand. It's off the mark. Tips up his own rebound. Can't get it to go. Ellington pulls it down. Ellington with a spin dribble, getting a step on Archam to get into the front court. Archam around, or rather Ellington around a screen from Postello. He'll turn around a 13-foot jumper and miss it. It's Farley pulling down the board. He headmans the ball to Cathy. Cathy from the right wing drives to the baseline, kicks it back out to Farley on the right wing. Farley gets back into the lane, tries to kick it out to Cathy. He will. Cathy will unload a three. He left it short. Archam hustles after and chases down the board. It's knocked out of bounds by Miles Reynolds of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It'll stay with the Quakers. Archam ran headlong into the rope that separates the playing surface from the spectator area here at Baldwin Wallace. And doesn't appear the worse for wear. Golan returns for Wilmington. He goes up and draws the foul against Richardson. And also back for Wilmington is Bryce Bird. Richardson picks up his second foul. That's the fourth on the Yellow Jackets. And Golan will go to the line where he's 16 of 20 on the year, 80%. Line to our right. He puts it on the deck once, aims, fires, and hits. McClarty comes in for the Yellow Jackets to spell Isaac Richardson. Golan's second attempt is up and good as well. 23-20. Yellow Jackets lead by 3 with 2:35 to play here in the half. Reynolds with it. Sends it across the court to Baskerville. Baskerville gets it into the front court. Baskerville will get a screen from Postello. He'll give it off to Postello. Thought about a three. Now he will fire up a three. And it's off back iron. Rebound to Heimlich. He flips it over to Farley. Farley into the front court, sends it over to Chisholm. Chisholm puts it on the deck, has it kick off of McClarty's shoe, gets it back, goes up on the drive, and gets the reverse layup to go, and he'll cut the deficit to 1. It's 23-22. Yellow Jackets in front, 2 minutes to play here in the half. Reynolds to Baskerville between the circles. Back to Reynolds on the left wing. Reynolds swings it into the low post. It's Postello driving baseline, kicking it to McClarty. It's tipped up, and Postello will grab it and go off the glass. No good. Rebound to Gavin Heimlich. He hands off to Bryce Bird, now to Dominic Farley, who brings it into the front court. Farley off on the left wing, out to Golan. Thought about a three, now on the drive. Golan puts it up and puts the Quakers in the lead with the layup. 24-23, Wilmington in front. Full timeout on the floor by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Correction, that full has been changed to a 30 by the Yellow Jackets. So while we have this opportunity, I want to remind you once more that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against Wilmington is being brought to you by Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game on BWYellowJackets.com. Postello, McClarty, Reynolds, Ellington, and Baskerville on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Farley, Chisholm, Golan, Bird, and Heimlich on the floor for the Quakers. Yellow Jackets working a two-man game up against a three-quarter court defense from Wilmington. It'll be Baskerville who walks it into the front court. In the center circle now. Baskerville around a double screen, gets to the right side of the floor. He'll get into the lane, pull up from 12, and knock it down to put the Yellow Jackets back in front, 25-24. Farley into the front court for Wilmington. He'll dribble off on the left side. Gets around Heimlich screen, pulls up from 15, left it short. Heimlich for the board. The putback is up and in. It's 26-25. Wilmington in front. Baskerville gets the inbound pass from Ellington. He'll work the ball up the floor across the timeline. Get it between the circles. Send a pass to Reynolds and get it right back. Baskerville to Reynolds in the corner. Reynolds back to Baskerville. He'll unload a three off back iron. Rebound to Chisholm. And the Quakers can use it all. Quickly up the floor, it's Golan, who drives to the block and then gets it poked out of bounds by Titus Baskerville, the fourth. Obed Archam comes in and who plays Gavin Heimlich. Andrew Griffith comes on for the Yellow Jackets to spell Miles Reynolds. Farley will inbound. 11.9 seconds left on the clock. The shot clock is off. Farley calls for last shot. He's off on the near sideline. 5 seconds left. At the top of the arc, he'll dial up a three. It left it short. Rebound deflected. Archam gets it back. Hoists a desperation shot, and it's a little short as he couldn't get a good footing before planning for the shot. So now it is 26-25. Baldwin Wallace trails Wilmington at the half. And we will step aside for a break right here on BWYellowJackets.com. When we come back, we'll break down the first half numbers for you and then take a look at the second half right here between the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets and the Wilmington Quakers on BWYellowJackets.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Ursprung Gymnasium at the Lou Higgins Center on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University, where we are at halftime of the men's basketball game between the Wilmington College Quakers and Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets. Matt Florjancic on the call of today's game for you. We are at the break, and it's 26-25 in favor of the visiting Quakers. Leading the way in scoring for Wilmington with 8 points, Obed Archam. And Rashid Chisholm has 6. Elijah Cathy and Ben Golan have 4 each. Gavin Heimlich and Dominic Farley round out the scoring with 2 each. Cathy has both of Wilmington's blocks as well as one of the steals. The leading rebounder in the game is Gavin Heimlich with 5, and then Archam, Farley, and Chisholm each have 4. Leading the way for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. In scoring, it's Titus Baskerville the 4th with 8. Miles Reynolds with 7. Ray Ellington with 6. AJ Postello and Isaac Richardson round out the scoring with 2 points apiece. The leading rebounder for the Yellow Jackets is Braylon McClarty with 6, including 2 on the offensive end of the floor. Postello has 5. Ellington has 4 rebounds. And the lone assist belongs to Titus Baskerville the 4th. Taking a look at team statistics for Wilmington, the Quakers are 10 of 33 from the floor, I should say, 30.3%, 2 of 12 from three-point range, 16.7%, and 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 80%. The Yellow Jackets, 9 of 31, 29% from the field, 2 of 11 from three-point range, 18.2%, and 5 of 9 from the free throw line, 55.6%. Points off turnovers and points in the paint even at 4 and 14, respectively. Wilmington has a slight edge in second chance scoring 4-3. The Yellow Jackets lead in fast break and bench points 2-0 and 8-4. The largest lead for the Yellow Jackets was 5 with 4:06 to play in the first half. The largest lead for the Quakers was 3, which came at the 16:31 mark of the first half. Largest scoring run of the game for the Yellow Jackets, it was an 8-point rally that got them that 5-point lead with 4:06 left in the first half. And then a 6-point burst by the Quakers with 1:27 left in the first half helped them cut the deficit and put the Quakers back in front. There's been 8 lead changes, 5 ties. The Yellow Jackets have led for 10-22. The Quakers have led for 6-21. On the floor for the Quakers in the second half, it'll be Archam, Chisholm, Farley, Heimlich, and Cathy, their starting 5. And the Yellow Jackets will respond with its starting 5 as well, with Griffith, Postello, Reynolds, Ellington, and Baskerville. And the Yellow Jackets will begin the second half with possession. Ellington gets it in to Baskerville, who brings the ball into the front court. Baskerville finds Reynolds cutting to the hoop. Reynolds drives back to the left corner along the baseline. Now to the wing. He'll try to re-attack and dish it to Griffith. It's batted away by one of the Quakers. Now to Baskerville on the right wing for 3. Off back iron. Rebound to Cathy. He'll scoop it over to Farley. Farley into the front court. Bounces a pass to Archam, and he rolls it in for the go-ahead basket. 28-25 for the Quakers, who extend their lead, Postello in the low post for the Yellow Jackets. Turnaround with the left hand is off the mark. Archam there for the board. He'll run it out for the Quakers. Archam scoops it over to Farley. Pump fakes a 3. Now he'll step into one and bury it from the top of the arc. 31-25. Wilmington with a 5-0 run to take a 6-point lead here in the first minute of the second half. Baskerville trying to drive baseline. He backs it out, gives it off to Postello, now to Ellington on the left side. Out top to Reynolds. Reynolds in the lane, backs it out. Fall away jumper is up, and it's off the mark. Tipped up by Postello. His putback attempt is no good. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. A.J. Postello, 2 of 4 at the free throw line today. Obed Archam picks up the first foul of the half for the Quakers, and that's his first foul of the game. Postello, a left-handed shooter, is up and in with the first attempt. Second attempt on the way, and A.J. Postello missed everything except the net. So that goes out of bounds, and it will go over to the Quakers. Farley catches the inbound pass. He'll work the ball up and over the timeline. Farley off on the near sideline now. Throws it into Archam. Archam spins baseline against Ellington. Goes back to the middle of the floor. Gets stripped on the way up, and an offensive foul is called against the Quakers. It's against Archam. That's his second. And that's a second on the Quakers in the half. So Archam picking up both fouls in the early going of the second half for the Quakers. Reynolds around the screen, hands off to Griffith on the left wing. Gives it off to Ellington. Ellington back to Reynolds on the near side, into the post to Postello. Hands off to Baskerville. Baskerville to Griffith. Thought about a three, gave it up to Reynolds. Reynolds from the right wing trying to drive. Farley with good on-ball defense, forcing the pass off to Griffith. Griffith outlets it to Baskerville. He hoists with 3 on the shot clock. It's off back iron. Rebound to Farley. Farley up the far sideline to Archam into the corner to Cathy. Cathy pump faked the three. All of his teammates came to their feet ready to cheer if he hit it. And now some of them will sit back down as he lobs it inside to Chisholm. Chisholm into the corner to Heimlich for 3. Left it short, and rebound to Cathy. He trying to pass it in traffic, and it's poked away by Postello. He hands off to Reynolds, off to Baskerville into the corner for 3 for the Yellow Jackets, and Andrew Griffith buries it for Baldwin Wallace. That'll cut the deficit to 2. 31-29. Wilmington in front, 17-12 left in regulation. Chisholm on the drive. Misses a shot. Rebound punched out to Cathy, and now a foul is called against Miles Reynolds on Elijah Cathy. Braylon McClarty will sub in for the Yellow Jackets to spell Andrew Griffith. Ben Golan will check in for Elijah Cathy of the Quakers. Ben Golan will trot to the near sideline to inbound the basketball. Bobs it into Heimlich. Heimlich gets it off to Farley on the left wing. Into the post it goes to Golan. He'll square up Reynolds in the post. Golan spins to his right. Tries to drop a pass to Chisholm. Chisholm controls it. 5 on the shot clock. Chisholm on the drive. The basket waved off. Foul on the floor. It's called against Braylon McClarty. His first, that's the second on the Yellow Jackets here in the early going of the second half. Farley lobs it into Heimlich. It gets into Chisholm. Chisholm pump fakes, gets it up off the window. No good, but he'll get 2 coming from the line as he was fouled on his way up. That's against Reynolds. That's his second. That's the third on the Yellow Jackets here in the half. And Chisholm will go to the line where on the year he came in at 67.1%, 49 of 73. He's 2 of 3 on the day. Make that 3 of 4 as he hits the front end of the 2-shot foul. Second attempt on the way, good as well. 33-29, Wilmington in front. 16:40 to play here in this second half. And Ellington on the drive for the Yellow Jackets. Count it, he'll get one more coming from the line as he was fouled on his way up. Chisholm picks up the foul. That's his second. That's the third on the Quakers here in the second half. So Ellington at line to our right, puts it on the deck once. Aims, fires, and completes the and one to pull the Yellow Jackets within one at 33-32. Archam on the left wing, enters it inside to Chisholm. Chisholm backing down McClarty. Good battle underneath, physical battle, and it's a Wilmington hoop from Chisholm. McClarty catches the inbound pass. He'll bring it into the front court with the Yellow Jackets trailing by 3. McClarty on the drive, goes up, count it. He'll get one more coming from the line as he was fouled on his way up. And it's against Chisholm. That's Chisholm's third. That's already the fourth on the Quakers here in the second half. The fouls are starting to mount for both teams, 7 combined, 4 on the Quakers, 3 on the Yellow Jackets. McClarty at the line for the and one, and he is up and good with that. Now 12 of 17 at the free throw line, better than 68%. Archam with it. We're tied at 35. Archam on the drive. Kicks it into the corner to Heimlich. It gets halfway around the world to Golan. He'll look back toward it Farley. Farley dribbles it out. Pulls up from 13. It banks it in from straight on. 37-35. Wilmington back in front. 15:45 to go here in the second half. Ellington on the dribble drive. Dishes it into the corner to McClarty. Pump fakes a three. Gets it poked away by Chisholm into the hands of Farley. Farley running a 3-on-3. Farley up with the shot, and the runner is good. 39-35. Wilmington in front. 15:28 left to go here in the second half. Timeout on the floor. And with this timeout, remind you once more that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. And the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Wilmington with a strong start to the second half. They lead at 39-35 with 15:28 to play here in the second half. They had a 26-25 lead at the break. They have outscored the Yellow Jackets 13-10 here in the first 4 minutes and 32 seconds of this second half. On the floor for the Quakers, it'll be Cathy, Golan, Heimlich, Archam, and Farley. On the floor for the Yellow Jackets, McClarty, Baskerville, Reynolds, Ellington, and Postello. The Yellow Jackets will inbound against three-quarter court defense by the Quakers. Ellington slips it over to Baskerville, who gets it to Reynolds into the front court. Ellington on the right wing, out front to Reynolds. He'll hoist the three from the top of the arc, barely grazed the rim. Postello there for the rebound. Gets it blocked by Heimlich. It's rebounded by Golan. Golan to Cathy. Through a deflection from McClarty. Cathy backdoor to Archam. Up off the window with the left hand and in. 41-35. Wilmington in front by 6. Now another steal by the Quakers as Archam pokes it away. But a foul is called against Archam. That's his third. That's the 5th on the Quakers here in the second half. Ellington inbounds in front of the Yellow Jacket bench. Gets it into Baskerville. Baskerville over to Reynolds. Reynolds around an Ellington screen, gets it to Ellington. Ellington pump fakes a pass, now on the drive, up off the window, and Ray Ellington gets it to go. Farley into the front court, signals the play with his right hand while dribbling with his left to the left wing. Farley working against Baskerville, and that's a foul against Titus Baskerville, the fourth. The Quakers will inbound underneath their own hoop. Baskerville picks up his first foul. That's the fourth in the half on the Yellow Jackets. Zach McGirt and Nick Malagreca return for the Quakers as Heimlich and Archam check out. Richardson back for the Yellow Jackets. He's on the floor with McClarty, Reynolds, Ellington, and Baskerville. Golan on the drive against McClarty, up off the window and in for the Quakers. 43-37. Wilmington in front as we near 6 minutes gone here in the first half. Or second half, I should say. Ellington with the ball. Sends it out front to Baskerville. Baskerville kicks it over to Reynolds on the left wing. Reynolds dribbles back to the middle of the floor, gets into the lane, turnaround jumper, up off back iron, no good. It's rebounded by McGirt. McGirt will hand off to Farley. Farley on the drive, kicks it over to Cathy for three from the left corner, in and out, no good, rebounded by Richardson. Richardson will hand off to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. From the top of the arc, gets a screen from Richardson. Drives to the right of the lane, gets in the lane now, over to McClarty for three from the left wing. Got it! 43-40. Baldwin Wallace trails just by three with 13:19 to play in the second half. Farley from the top of the arc dribbles off left side. Fakes the pass inside to Cathy, and an offensive foul is called against Farley as Richardson hit the deck while playing defense on Farley. Carson Miles comes in along with Bryce Bird, Elijah Cathy, and Dominic Farley will check out for Wilmington. Ellington inbounds it to McClarty in the front court. McClarty to Miles Reynolds, who's in the center circle. Reynolds will swing it over to Ellington. Ellington on the drive, steps into a three from the left wing. Missed it. Rebound punched out by Richardson to Golan. Golan will hand off to Bryce Bird. Bryce Bird into the front court. Hands off to Carson Miles. Miles on the drive, pulls up from 14 and knocks it down. 45-40. Wilmington up by 5. Titus Baskerville, the fourth, brings it up for the Yellow Jackets. From the top of the arc, he drives to the left of the lane, kicks it to Reynolds in the corner for three, and Miles Reynolds buries the triple for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. 45-43, Jackets trail it with 12:08 to play in the second half. Golan on the left wing. Gets around a screen. Backs it back out from the free throw line and gives it off to Bird on the right wing. Golan will get it back in the post, working against Ellington. Golan goes up off the window, and it's in for the Quakers. 4-point lead now for Wilmington. Jackets looking to answer. Reynolds backdoors a pass to Richardson. Up off the window, and Isaac Richardson puts it in. And it'll cut the deficit to a basket as Golan quickly the other way. Off to McGirt in the corner. Left the three-pointer short. It's rebounded by McClarty. McClarty 1-on-2. Dribbles out to the left wing, letting the Yellow Jackets catch up. He'll skip a pass to Miles Reynolds, who gets his three-pointer blocked. Reynolds on the drive to the hoop, gets his own rebound back, and it draws a foul on the layup attempt. Miles will pick up his first foul. That's the 7th on the Quakers. The Yellow Jackets going to be shooting some free throws here for much of this second half as 11:19 remains here in the second half. Reynolds is first, up, and it rattles in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Chisholm and Archam come back for the Quakers to replace McGirt and Malagreca. Reynolds' second attempt, up and good. We're even at 47 with 11:19 to go here in the second half. Miles running point. Sends a pass out to Golan. Golan hands off to Chisholm. Chisholm sends it over to Bird, now out to Archam. Archam off near side, around the screen, on the drive, goes up with the reverse layup, and it's no good. Rebound controlled by Richardson. He gets it to McClarty, off to Reynolds. Reynolds into the front court. Step back three on the way for Reynolds. It's off the mark, rebound to Richardson. Over to McClarty on the right wing. He'll fire up a three. It's off the mark, rebound to Archam. Archam outlets it to Miles near side for the Quakers. Miles on the left wing, on the drive, gets in the lane, kicks it into the corner to Golan for three. In and out, no good. Rebound to Miles Reynolds. He'll hand off to Titus Baskerville, the fourth. Baskerville steps on the gas, gets in the lane, dumps it to Richardson, up off the window, and the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets are back in front at 49-47 with 10:15 left to play here in the second half. Timeout on the floor by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It is a full timeout. So while we have this break in the action, I want to remind you once more that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game is being brought to you by Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game on BWYellowJackets.com. And for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, this is the last home game of the regular season, as the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jacket men's basketball team will be on the road for their final two matchups. They play at Mount Union down in Alliance on a Wednesday night. 7 o'clock tip-off down at Ursprung Gymnasium inside the McPherson Academic and Athletic Complex. And then they end the season at one of the best home atmospheres in the Ohio Athletic Conference down at the Ban Johnson Arena at Marietta. Tip-off for that game set tentatively for 3 p.m. It is the capper to the doubleheader of men's and women's action down at Marietta next Saturday. Out of the timeout, it is Baskerville, Reynolds, McClarty, Ellington, and Richardson on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Heimlich, Chisholm, Farley, DeBrasi, and Archam on the floor for the Quakers. DeBrasi left wing, working against Reynolds. Out front to Farley. Farley thought about stepping into a jumper, gives it off to Archam. Now to DeBrasi. He'll lob it in to Chisholm. Chisholm with a save, but it's to Miles Reynolds. Reynolds comes up with the steal, kicks it to Ellington from the left wing for three. Got it! Baldwin Wallace 52, Wilmington 47. 9:42 left to play in the second half. Archam to Farley. Now out to DeBrasi for three from the right wing. In and out, no good. Rebound hauled in by Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. Gets into the lane. Goes up with the left hand. Up off the window, no good. Rebound controlled by Richardson. He throws it behind his back to save it, and it's out of bounds off of the Yellow Jackets. Possession to the Quakers. DeBrasi will inbound the basketball for Wilmington right in front of the scorer's table. Gets it into Farley. Farley across the timeline, sends it over to Heimlich, now to Archam on the left wing. Out front it goes to DeBrasi, over to Farley on the right wing. Heimlich with it, he'll kick it out to Chisholm on the drive. He misses the layup, but he'll get two at the free throw line as he was fouled on his way up by Miles Reynolds. That's Reynolds' third. That's the fifth on the Yellow Jackets. Chisholm line to our left. Takes a deep breath after getting the ball from the official. Puts it on the deck 4 times. Gives it a spin. Aims, fires, and has it roll off the side of the rim. No good. Yellow Jackets stay in front by 5. Chisholm looking to split the pair. The attempt is on the way. It's on the mark. 52-48. Jackets lead. Golan will check in for Heimlich for the Quakers. Nick Timberlake returns for Braylon McClarty of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Ellington inbounds it to Reynolds. Full court defense from Dominic Farley. Reynolds into the front court. Behind the back dribble, he'll hand off to Baskerville. Baskerville feigns the use of a screen over to Timberlake on the right side for 3. It's off the mark. Rebound controlled by Richardson. He punches it out, but it's picked up by Archam. Archam to Chisholm, and Chisholm lost a handle on it, but got it back to Archam on the left-handed layup. It's up and in. 52-50. Jackets lead down to 2. Baskerville the other way. Out at the top of the arc. Drives to the right of the lane. Scoops it up with the right hand. It's off the mark. Rebound to Timberlake. Thought about a putback. Wasn't there, so he gave it to Ellington. Ellington's turnaround jumper up and nothing but the bottom of the net. 54-50. Jackets in front with 8:12 left to play here in the second half. Good unselfish play right there by Timberlake. Farley with it for the Quakers. Backdoors a pass to Chisholm. He catches it with one hand. Sends it over to Golan in the corner. Out to Archam. Now out front it goes. Once more to DeBrossi. Steps through a double team. Fires up a shot. Left it short. Rebounded by Richardson. He'll give it to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. Kicks it out to Ellington. Ellington to the left of the lane. Goes up with a jumper. Gets it to go. And Ray Ellington will get one more coming as he was fouled in the act of shooting by DeBrossi. That is his second. That's the 8th on the Quakers. Cathy will come back for DeBrossi. Ellington in the first half, 0 of 1 at the free throw line. He's 42 of 53 on the season, so just around the 80% mark. As the and one is up, and the and one is good. 57-50 with 7:40 to play in the second half. Golan quickly the other way, lobs it up for Chisholm. He misses it, and it's last touched by Miles Reynolds of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It'll stay with the Quakers. It's lobbed into Rashid, and he is clocked by Isaac Richardson. The official on the near sideline makes a call. That's Richardson's third. That's the 6th on the Yellow Jackets. Next one puts the Quakers in the bonus for the remainder of the game. The inbound pass goes from Farley to Archam. Archam spins to his left, up off the window. It rolls off. It's rebounded by Ellington. He rips it through. A jump ball tie-up attempt from Archam. Gives it to Baskerville. Baskerville off left side. Finds Richardson going to the hoop. Up with the right hand on the left side, and it's good. 59-50. Jackets in front with 7:14 to play, and the Wilmington Quakers will burn a timeout. Not liking the way things are going, so they will burn a full timeout. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game is being brought to you by University Hospitals Krasinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for VW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue. And the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Mentioned this is the final home game for the Yellow Jackets of the regular season. They will be at Mount Union, and they will be at Marietta next Wednesday and next Saturday, respectively. Ellington. They will end the season at Capitol on Wednesday night and against Heidelberg at home next Saturday afternoon. So one road and one home game left for Wilmington after today. Baldwin Wallace done with the home slate. They end the year with 2 on the road. After the timeout, it's Chisholm, Farley, Cathy, Golan, and Archam on the floor for the Quakers. Cathy with it on the right wing, lobs it over to Archam. He hands it back to Cathy. Now into Archam. Archam up off the window, no good, but he'll get 2 coming from the line. He was fouled by Nick Timberlake on his way up. Timberlake on the floor with Reynolds, Baskerville, Ellington, and Richardson. Archam line to our left. He's a 52.6% free throw shooter on the year, 40 of 76. He takes a deep breath, dribbles it out a few times, aims, fires, and knocks down for the Quakers. Heimlich back for Golan. Archam's second attempt up, and it's off the side of the rim, rebounded by Isaac Richardson. He'll hand off to Reynolds, who gives it off to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. Sends it over to Ellington into the corner to Timberlake. Back to Ellington on the right side of the floor. He'll give it off to Baskerville. Baskerville around a screen attempt, sends it back to Ellington on the right wing. Ellington gives it off to Baskerville. Baskerville in the lane, kicks it out to Timberlake. 8 on the shot clock, out top to Richardson. Richardson on the drive, goes up, gets it, smoked away by Heimlich, and then the ball goes out of bounds into the Yellow Jacket bench. Obed Archam gave one heck of a chase at the ball, and it completely hurdled the Yellow Jacket bench, sending a couple of Yellow Jackets ducking out of the way. He didn't even come close to making contact. That was a clean clear. My goodness, that was impressive. A.J. Postello back for the Yellow Jackets. He replaces Timberlake on the drive. It's Archam up off the window and in. 59-53. Jacket lead down to 6 as we near the 6-minute mark left in this second half. Baskerville between the circles. Sends a pass to Reynolds on the right wing. Reynolds around a screen, gives it back to Baskerville. He'll hoist the 3 from the left side. It rolls off the left side of the rim, rebounded by Postello. Out to Baskerville. He'll drive inside now, dish it to Richardson, up off the window and in for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. BW back in front, this time by 8, 61-53. Cathy with it on the low block. Jumping turnaround jumper is off the mark. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Richardson, and it's batted away. Archam gets on the basketball. Cathy dives on it. Now Rashid dives on it and gets tied up by Postello, who then helps up Ellington and extends an arm to Chisholm, who's helped up fully by Farley. That was one heck of an effort by both teams as 6 out of the 10 men on the floor hit the deck. The ball was last touched by the Quakers, and it will go over to the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Ellington will inbound against the full press. He gets it into Baskerville. Baskerville working against Farley. Maybe he got away with a forearm shiver there. Now Baskerville on a drive, dishes it to Richardson in traffic. Up off the window, no good. Rebound to Postello. Fall away, bank shot is up and in. 63-53. Jackets lead it with 5 minutes to go here in regulation. Farley off right side, sends it out top to Cathy. Cathy looking back toward Archam. Off the window, it's no good. It's rebounded by the Yellow Jackets. Baskerville into the front court. Gives it off to Reynolds, gets it back to Baskerville on the left side of the floor. Baskerville around a screen on the drive, up off the window, no good, but he'll get 2 coming from the line. As tight as Baskerville, the 4th, was fouled by Rashid Chisholm, his 4th, the 9th on the Quakers here in the second half. Baskerville 50 of 64 coming into today's game, 78.1%. He hits the front end of the two-shot foul. He's now 2 of 3 on the day at the free throw line. The second attempt is up and good for Titus Baskerville, the fourth. 65-53 Jackets in front. 4:38 to play here in this second half. Farley into the front court. Off on the left wing, driving against Baskerville. Gets bumped on his way up. Oh, they wave off the shot. They say the bump was on the floor. It'll be a 1-and-1. Yikes, that was close to being a two-shot foul. Front end of the 1-and-1 is up and good for Farley. He earns a second one. He's a 76.3% free throw shooter. Came in 29 of 38. He's now 30 of 39. Malagreca will check in for Cathy. The back end of the 1-and-1 is off the mark. And the deficit remains at 11, 65-54, Jackets in front. Reynolds with it. On the drive, kicks it out to Postello, over to Baskerville on the left wing. Baskerville's turnaround jumper is off the mark, rebound out of bounds, nearly out of bounds. It's saved by Malagreca to Archam. Over to Farley, now over to Chisholm on the right wing. Pump fakes a three. Pump fakes again, now on the drive. Chisholm pulls up on the baseline, misses the shot. Rebound tipped out of bounds by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It will stay with the Wilmington Quakers. Elijah Cathy is back for the Quakers to spell Nick Malagreca. Lob pass inside to Heimlich. Now off to Chisholm. Chisholm in the low block. Puts it up and draws a foul against Miles Reynolds. Much to the chagrin of the Baldwin Wallace coaching staff, as Coach Tom Heil double palm slaps the floor in frustration, and Associate Head Coach Brian Schmidt jumped out of his chair, unable to understand the call on Miles Reynolds. That's the 9th foul on the Yellow Jackets, so we're even at 9 fouls apiece. Both teams will be in a double bonus on the next foul. Chisholm's first attempt is up and in. Braylon McClarty will check in for Miles Reynolds. Or check that. Miles Reynolds will stay on. A.J. Postello will check out. And Heimlich will check out for the Quakers. While Zach McGirt checks in, along with Malagreca. So Heimlich and Cathy will both take seats. The second attempt from Chisholm is up and good as well. The inbound pass goes from Ellington to Reynolds. Reynolds into the front court with a pass. He gets it to Baskerville. Baskerville dribbles out of trouble. Gets back into the center circle. Jackets being very deliberate on this possession. The clock is their friend. They lead it by 9 with 3:23 to play. Reynolds picks up his dribble. Hands off to Baskerville. Baskerville has it poked away. Gets around a defender. On a drive. Lost it off of his leg. And it's a Yellow Jacket turnover. Possession to the Quakers. Postello will check in for the Yellow Jackets. Golan will check in for the Quakers. Some offensive for defensive substitutions on both sides of the floor. Chisholm will roll it into Farley. Farley picks it up, crosses the midcourt stripe, sends it off to Cathy, over to Chisholm, now to Archam, into Cathy in the post, turnaround jumper, up and in for the Quakers, 65-58. Quakers cut the deficit to 7 with 3 minutes to play here in the second half. Timeout on the floor. It is a full timeout by the Wilmington Quakers. Speaking of the timeout situation, the Yellow Jackets have 3 left. The Quakers have 2. Both teams have committed 9 fouls here in the second half. meaning both teams will be in the double bonus for the final 3 minutes of regulation. While we have this break in the action, I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game is being brought to you by Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against Wilmington on BWYellowJackets.com. Once again, this is the final home game of the regular season for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, as they will be on the road at Mount Union on Wednesday and then at the Van Johnson Arena down in Marietta against the Pioneers next Saturday afternoon in the final OAC regular season doubleheader of the season. Wilmington will be at Capitol on Wednesday night, and they will host Heidelberg University on Saturday afternoon in the nightcap of a doubleheader of men's and women's OAC basketball action down at the Fred Risk Arena. On the floor for the Quakers, Farley, Archam, Chisholm, Malagreca, and Heimlich. On the floor for the Yellow Jackets, Ellington, Reynolds, Baskerville, McClarty, and Richardson. Ellington brings the ball across the timeline, sends it over to Reynolds on the left wing. Feigned a three-point attempt. Now works around a screen to Richardson, gets it into the high post to Richardson, who's up off the window and in with the layup for the Yellow Jackets. 67-58, BW in front. Chisholm the other way. He'll back it out on the left wing, now on the drive. Spins to his left, goes to his right, gets fouled on his way up, and he'll get two coming from the line. Isaac Richardson picks up the foul. That's his fourth. That's the 10th on the Yellow Jackets.
To the line, shooting two, number 5, Rasheed Chisholm.
Chisholm's first is up, and it rims in for the Quakers. Elijah Cathy on the floor for the Quakers to relieve Gavin Heimlich. Chisholm came in a 67% free throw shooter. He's 8 of 10, looking to make it 9 of 11 if he can hit, and it rattles out. It's rebounded by Richardson, but it's out of bounds. Off of Richardson, it's going to stay with the Quakers. Postello will check in, I should say, for Miles Reynolds of the Yellow Jackets, and Golan will come in for Malagreca. And it will be Dominic Farley who will trigger the inbound pass underneath Wilmington's hoop. The Quakers trail it by 8. Chance to cut it to 5. Golan stepped on the half-court stripe. Could have been an over and back. And much to the chagrin of the Yellow Jackets coaches, the official says we play on. Cathy from the top of the arc pulls up from 17. Off back iron and in. It caromed off the backboard once it hit the iron and then fell straight through the hoop to cut the deficit to 6 with 2 minutes left in regulation. Baskerville with it. He'll back it up between the circles, off on the left side now. He'll send it over to McClarty on the right wing, back to Baskerville. Baskerville on the drive, left it for Postello, and it is out of bounds, and it's ruled to go to the Yellow Jackets. Now a conversation takes place, and looks like we're going to review this at the scorer's table. And this is too big of a call to not review it. I agree with the officials to make the call and go review it. With it only being a 6-point game, 1:47 left, the Yellow Jackets have possession as of now, but the Quakers could get possession and then cut it to a 1-possession deficit if they were to hit a 3-pointer to make the deficit just 3 points. As it stands at 67-61 in favor of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets with 1:47 left to play in the second half. 3 timeouts for the Jackets, 2 for the Quakers. 10 fouls committed by the Yellow Jackets, 9 committed by the Quakers here in the second half. While the officials go through this review, I want to remind you once more that today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game is being brought to you by University Hospitals, Jasinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics, Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company, City Barbecue, celebrating 25 years of competition quality barbecue, the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893, Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider, Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics, Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event, and Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's basketball game against Wilmington on BWYellowJackets.com. So the first two officials reviewed it, and now a third has been called to the table. They'll swap out one of the officials, and the third official will take a look at the video at center court to determine whether the Yellow Jackets were the last to touch. And now the officials will have a conference. From my vantage point, you can take that for what it's worth. I think this should be Wilmington Quaker basketball. But that's why we have replay review. And three sets of eyes on the floor. And it is indeed Wilmington basketball. It's a Yellow Jacket turnover charged to Titus Baskerville the fourth. Baskerville, McClarty, Ellington, Richardson, and Postello on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. Archam, Golan, Cathy, Farley, and Chisholm on the floor for the Quakers. It'll be Chisholm inbounding it to Farley. 1:47 to play here in regulation. It's Baldwin Wallace 67, Wilmington 61. Golan tries to throw a pass over Postello. It's batted away, but Farley's there to back him up. Farley on the drive. Dishes it to Golan underneath the hoop, and Golan puts it up and in with the right hand. Timeout on the floor by the Wilmington Quakers. It is a full timeout. You are seeing two teams go at it basket for basket. This has been an outstanding game. When you look at it in the first game, the Yellow Jackets won by 3, 61-58. This one's coming down to the wire as well. Baldwin Wallace led by as much as 12 earlier in the second half. They now lead it only by 4 with 90 seconds left. Plenty of time for either team to go on a run to either close out the victory or seal the come from behind effort. Yellow Jackets looking to break a 2-game slide. They lost back-to-back games at Capital and John Carroll last Saturday and last Wednesday. They are on a 2-game winning streak at home, though. They have beaten Muskingum and Heidelberg in their previous 2 home games. They could end the regular season with a 3-game winning streak at home if they can close out the final 90 seconds against Wilmington. Wilmington has just one timeout left. So they have to get clean inbound passes, and they cannot find themselves in many traps and trying to bail out with the timeout. Cathy, Chisholm, Malagreca, Archam, and Farley on the floor for Wilmington. The Jackets counter with McClarty, Ellington, Reynolds, Baskerville, and Richardson. Ellington to inbound the basketball. 94 feet away from the hoop. And Archam over the basketball. Ellington gets it into Richardson. Richardson scoops it over to Reynolds. Reynolds hands it to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court. Dribbles off to the left side, checked by Malagreca. Gets it off to Ellington. Ellington against Archam. Ellington on the drive, scoops it up. Gets it blocked from behind by Chisholm. It's out of bounds off of the Quakers. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Now Gavin Heimlich will come on for the Quakers to replace Nick Malagreca. Ellington will inbound for the Jackets underneath his own hoop. Ellington gets it into the corner to Baskerville. Baskerville on the drive against Cathy. Loses the handle on it, pokes it out of bounds. He was going to shovel it to McClarty. The ball went left. McClarty went to his left, which was to the right of where the ball was going, and it went right out of bounds. It's a turnover for the Yellow Jackets. A.J. Postello comes back in for the Yellow Jackets. It's inbounded from Chisholm to Farley. He gives it right back to Chisholm. Now to Archam on the right wing. Out to Heimlich. Over to Cathy on the left wing. Into the post to Chisholm. Working against McClarty. Chisholm in the lane. Goes up off the window. It's no good. Rebound to Ray Ellington. Ellington will dribble it. He gets it poked from behind. It's stolen away by Chisholm. Chisholm to Farley. Back to Chisholm. Up off the window, and it's in for the Quakers. 67-65. BW in front by 2 with 45 seconds left. Baskerville takes the inbound pass from Postello. Gets it in the front court. Timeout on the floor by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Tom Heil calls for the timeout and gives the official on that far sideline quite a bit of an earful before he goes back to the huddle. He's still not done picking that fight as he has to be walked back to the huddle by Coach Brian Schmidt, his associate head coach, and a former Yellow Jacket all-time great point guard, Tom Harrington, who is one of the assistants as well on this staff. Tom Heil was not happy how that last play developed for the Yellow Jackets as Ellington was dribbling up the floor, got it poked away from behind, and it was scooped up by Rashid, and then a nice 3-on-2 break for the Quakers as Farley gave it right back to the man who started it in Rashid Chisholm. And a nice give and go right there led to a layup for the Akron North Senior High School graduate and Hocking College transfer, Rashid Chisholm. 67-65 is our score. 38.5 seconds left in this second half. Yellow Jackets have 2 timeouts left. The Quakers have 1. BW has committed 10 fouls. Wilmington has committed 9. Both teams in the double bonus. 24 seconds left on the shot clock for the Yellow Jackets. Well, 14.5 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, meaning the Yellow Jackets cannot use it all. Malagreca, Cathy, Chisholm, Archam, and Farley on the floor for the Quakers. McClarty, Reynolds, Ellington, Richardson, and Baskerville on the floor for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, and Ellington will inbound the basketball in front of the Yellow Jacket bench. He gets it in to Reynolds. Now Reynolds working against Malagreca. Trying to get around a screen from Ellington. He gets the ball to Ellington, does Miles Reynolds. Ellington banging with Malagreca, throws up a baseline jumper, tries to bank it in. It's off the mark. It's rebounded by Malagreca. Wilmington can use it all. The shot clock is off. Farley into the front court. Gets off to the left wing. Now into the left corner. He'll try to drive inside. Left it for Chisholm for 3. It's off the side of the rim, rebounded by Richardson. He's immediately swarmed and fouled with 5.8 seconds left. Isaac Richardson will go to the line to shoot 2. Richardson came in at a 70.6% free throw shooter. And on the day, Isaac Richardson is 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Richardson line to our right, puts it on the deck twice, aims, fires, and hits. Heimlich comes back on for Malagreca. Elijah Cathy encouraging his teammates to provide the noise, as well as the Wilmington fans stationed behind me to my right. Cathy actually clapped as Richardson was releasing that free throw attempt. A little bit of gamesmanship there. Timeout on the floor by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Each team now has 1 timeout left with 5.8 seconds left. That may be inconsequential. 68-65, Baldwin Wallace in front of Wilmington. This one's coming down to the wire here in Berea. expect nothing less out of two teams who are on the outside looking in at an OAC tournament berth. Both teams really have no margin for error the rest of the way. On the floor for the Yellow Jackets after the timeout, Ellington along with Reynolds, Baskerville, McClarty, and Richardson, Heimlich, Cathy, Chisholm, Archam, and Farley on the floor for the Quakers. The Jackets call for the clear out of the free throw lane, and they're leaving Richardson at the line by himself, so they're conceding a rebound off of a miss. Richardson puts it on the deck twice, aims, fires, and knocks it down. The Jackets lead by 4. Archam to inbound. He throws it 3/4 of the way down the court to Cathy. Cathy catches it, then steps out of bounds. It's a turnover for the Quakers. The Yellow Jackets will get the basketball. Malagreca will check in for Wilmington. He will check out Gavin Heimlich. Ellington inbounds it in the corner to our left. He lobs it into McClarty. McClarty up the floor to Baskerville. Baskerville into the front court, dribbles around the defender, and burns out the rest of the clock. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, 69-65 winners over the Wilmington College Quakers. The Jackets improve to 10-13 overall, 7-6 on the home deck here at Ursprung Gymnasium. They are now 6-10 in Ohio Athletic Conference play and 5-4 in OAC home games. Wilmington falls to 5-18 overall. They are now 2-8 away from home. They are 3-13 in OAC play and 2-6 in OAC road games. Wilmington on the road once more. The rest of the season they play at Capital on Wednesday night, and then they host Heidelberg in a men's and women's OAC doubleheader next Saturday afternoon. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, their home slate is done. They play at Mount Union on Wednesday night, and then they will play in the second game of a doubleheader down at Marietta on Saturday afternoon, next Saturday afternoon, February 22nd. Once again, BW with the win. They take this one 69-65 over the Wilmington Quakers. For everyone here at Baldwin Wallace, my name is Matt Florjancic. Thanks for watching today's basketball games. We hope you had an enjoyable day. We hope you have an even better weekend. And as always, go Jackets!